The story begins not with certainty, but with whispers. As World War II crumbled into its final chaos in 1945, the world witnessed a Germany in flames. The Red Army marched westward, devouring Nazi strongholds city by city. In the midst of this collapse, rumors spread like wildfire of a train. No ordinary train, but one packed with unimaginable wealth. They called it the Nazi Gold Train. According to scattered witnesses, it left the city of Wrocław, heavily guarded, its carriages stuffed with gold bars, stolen jewelry, priceless works of art, and perhaps even the fabled Amber Room, dismantled and crated away. It was said to be bound for the Owl Mountains in southwestern Poland. But then it disappeared, vanished without a trace. Not a single wheel print, not a single wagon, nothing, just silence. This was no ordinary rumor. The Nazis were notorious for hiding treasures. Billions worth of gold and art had been looted from banks, museums, and families across Europe. They melted wedding rings, ripped gold teeth from prisoners, and robbed entire nations of their cultural identity. If any rumor could be true, it was this one. And yet the mystery deepened. Because it wasn't simply about wealth. It was about where the stolen soul of Europe might have been buried. Was the gold train real? And if so, where was it now? Imagine, somewhere beneath the forests of Poland, a train sealed in darkness for 80 years, waiting to be discovered. What would it reveal? Gold bars, stacked like bricks of forgotten power, or something even darker, hidden away by men who knew their empire was falling? For decades, survivors told fragments of the story. Some claimed the train was hidden in tunnels dug by slave labor as part of Project Reese, the massive underground complexes in the Owl Mountains. Others swore explosions were heard in the final days of the war, entrances blasted shut by retreating Nazis. Locals remembered strange convoys, tracks leading to nowhere, and sudden military activity in remote valleys. No one ever saw the train again, but the silence spoke louder than words. The gold train was no longer just a rumor. It became a legend.
In the decades after the war, the legend of the gold train grew like wildfire. In Walbruch and the surrounding villages, the story passed from grandparents to grandchildren, whispered over campfires, retold in hushed voices by miners and farmers. Hunters claimed they stumbled upon rusted tracks vanishing into the earth. Farmers spoke of shafts that collapsed mysteriously. Each generation added new details. The train had 40 wagons. No, it had 50. It carried gold. No, it carried nuclear weapons. It was buried in a mountain. No, it sank into the earth itself. Truth and imagination became inseparable. By the 1970s and 80s, this legend transformed from folklore into obsession. Amateur treasure hunters armed with shovels risked their lives in unstable tunnels. People pored over old wartime maps, convinced that just one more clue would reveal the truth. Some explorers never came back. Tunnels collapsed. Oxygen ran out. Greed swallowed them. Even governments became curious. The Polish army quietly conducted surveys, sending soldiers to scan and drill the hillsides. But they too found nothing conclusive. No train, no gold, just silence. And yet, paradoxically, this silence became fuel, because absence of evidence for believers was never evidence of absence. If anything, it meant the Nazis had hidden the train so perfectly that modern technology could not pierce their secret. The unknown became intoxicating. The gold train had turned into Europe's greatest unsolved mystery. The obsession wasn't only about treasure. For survivors of Nazi looting, the gold train represented stolen justice. Billions of dollars in gold, priceless artifacts, even personal heirlooms might still be hidden underground. If found, it could mean restitution, the long-delayed return of what families lost. For others, though, the gold train became a symbol of adventure itself. To solve its mystery would be to defeat time, to uncover a secret sealed since the last days of the war. The legend refused to die. If anything, it grew stronger with every failure.
Then came the 2010s, and with it, the biggest explosion of interest the gold train had ever seen. In 2015, two treasure hunters, Piotr Koper
a Polish construction worker, and Andreas Richter, a German enthusiast, made a stunning claim. Using ground-penetrating radar, they announced they had discovered what appeared to be a train buried near Wałbrzych. The images, they said, showed outlines of carriages beneath the hillside. Their confidence was electrifying. For the first time in 70 years, the gold train was no longer a story of whispers, it was a story of proof. The world went wild. Headlines screamed across newspapers. International TV crews rushed to the quiet Polish town. Hotels filled with journalists and adventurers. Wałbrzych suddenly became the epicenter of global curiosity. For a few dazzling weeks, it seemed humanity was about to open the door on one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Was this finally the day the gold train would see daylight again? But when experts examined the site, disappointment struck. The train, seen on radar, turned out to be nothing more than geological anomalies, natural rock formations that looked like man-made objects. Excavations revealed no gold, no train, nothing at all. For skeptics, it was the final nail in the coffin of the legend. But for believers, it was only another twist. After all, hadn't every great mystery required setbacks before the final revelation? What if the train is still there, just not where we think? What if the Nazis built not one tunnel, but dozens, crisscrossing the Owl Mountains like veins beneath the earth? What if the greatest treasure ever hidden lies just meters away, sealed behind stone and silence, waiting for the right eyes to find it? The failure of 2015 did not kill the myth, it only amplified it. The gold train was now a modern mystery, one that had mocked even 21st century technology.
To understand why the gold train haunts us, we must look beyond treasure. This is not merely about coins and jewels, it is about memory. The Nazis looted on a scale the world had never seen. They stole art from museums, stripped banks of their gold reserves, plundered private homes, and tore wedding rings from the hands of families being deported to camps. Billions of dollars in wealth vanished into the machinery of war. Some of it was melted, recycled, spent, but some of it was hidden. To believe in the gold train is to believe in the possibility of justice still waiting underground. Survivors and their descendants still wonder, what if their family's stolen heirlooms lie in one of those sealed wagons? What if the Amber Room, lost since 1945, waits in the darkness? The gold train is not just a story of greed. It is a story of stolen lives, stolen memories, stolen dignity. To uncover it would be to confront history face to face. But there's another dimension. For adventurers, for dreamers, for those who chase the unknown, the gold train is pure fuel. It is the perfect riddle, a story with just enough evidence to be possible and just enough mystery to never be solved. It is the human desire to uncover secrets, to pull back the veil of history and declare, "I found it." And so, the gold train exists in two worlds. In one, it is a wound that still bleeds. On the other hand, it is a legend that inspires explorers to this day. And somewhere in between lies the truth, a truth we may never fully uncover.
The legend has become a mirror. For some, it reflects greed, the insatiable desire for wealth hidden underground. For others, it reflects justice, the hope that looted treasures might return to rightful heirs. For others still, it reflects something deeper, our hunger for mystery in a world that feels too mapped, too explained, too certain. The gold train whispers that not everything is known, that history still has shadows, that beneath the soil of Europe, there may still be secrets waiting. Even now, locals tell stories. Children who once heard the tale from their grandparents now repeat it to their own. Tourists visit Wałbrzych, standing on hillsides, staring at forests, hoping that maybe beneath their feet lies gold. Authors, filmmakers, and YouTubers recycle the legend, adding their own twists. The gold train has entered global pop culture, not because it was found, but because it wasn't. The absence is the fuel. Imagine, right now, under the quiet earth, a rusting steel monster waiting, its wheels locked in place, its wagons sealed in silence. Inside, gold bars stacked to the ceiling, crates of art, boxes of jewelry once belonging to families who never came home. If such a train exists, then it is more than treasure. It is a time capsule of humanity's darkest chapter. The gold train has not been proven, but neither has it been disproven, and that, perhaps, is why it endures.
So does the gold train exist? Maybe, maybe not. What we know is this. The Nazis were masters of secrecy. They carved tunnels that still haven't been mapped. They hid wealth in caves, in lakes, in castles. Gold has been found in sunken ships, in abandoned mines, in Swiss bank vaults. Why not a train, sealed behind stone? The absence of discovery is not proof of absence. And yet, the gold train's greatest power may not be physical at all. It is psychological. It haunts me because it represents possibility. The possibility that history still holds surprises, that beneath ordinary hills, extraordinary truths may sleep, that even in our hyper-connected, over-explained world, mystery still exists. Maybe the train never existed. Maybe it lies beneath Walbrecht, its cargo untouched for 80 years. Maybe it was destroyed, buried, or looted before anyone could find it. But in the end, the gold train is not about certainty. It is about wonder, about the stories we tell ourselves to keep history alive. And perhaps that is the real treasure. Not the gold, not the jewels, not the amber room, but the enduring mystery itself. Because what haunts us most is not what we know, but what we don't. The legend of the gold train rolls on, and perhaps in some dark tunnel beneath the Owl Mountains, the echo of its whistle still lingers.